Greetings and salutations, everyone. I am, as always, Darth Devious, bringing you another video review. This time, I'm bringing you something special from NECA. This is the 8-inch clothed Freddy Krueger from A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. I will also be showing off the Freddy from Part 1 to compare them to, because there are a lot of improvements in this over their original. Now, this review is right now an exclusive for Tricks, Treats, etc. Has a lot to do with horror. If you're a horror fan, go to that page, check it out, sign up, like it, you know the deal. This one's for you, buddy. So as you can see back here, we got the lovely NECA artwork that we get with all these 8-inch figures. And there's Freddy. There's the bus in the background on the pillars that were from part of the nightmare, and there he is pulling his skull off to show off his brain, which this head that's on him actually does have. So I'll show that off in a minute. Nathan Thomas Milliner, it says, did this artwork. He did a good job. On the back, you see product shots. He does this, he does this. You can read that. It says, 5 years have passed since Freddy Krueger was sent howling back to hell, but now a new kid on Elm Street is being haunted every night by gruesome visions of the deadly Dreamstalker. And if his twisted soul takes possession of the boy's body, Freddy will return from the dead to wreak bloody murder and mayhem upon the entire town. I kind of have him in a pose right now from that pool party scene where he's going, "You are all my children now." And as you see here, we got some accessories that it came with. It came with an extra hand, which this was actually the hand that was on him. I replaced it. This is from part of the film where the knives just come out of his fingers. I prefer the glove. This is just the regular angry face that was on him. We can see here. And it's wonderful sculpting, I'll give it that. But I like the face that's on him now where it's screaming. He also comes with his hat, which stays on him fairly well, but not. It kind of doesn't. But it's a softer, slightly softer plastic. If I bring in the original 8-inch Freddy that NECA did, this hat is hard plastic. It does not sit on his head very well. It kind of, you got to kind of wedge it on his head, and it sits a little too high, I think. But you can tell this is the first movie because there's no stripes on the arms. This isn't a bad version of Freddy. It just, because it's the older 8-inch body they were using, it doesn't have the articulation. Like, it doesn't have the swivels in the arms and things like that this one has. Not bad. This one was better, which is why I wanted that one too. Not to mention, you can see they gave his pants a nice dirty wash. I wouldn't have minded this detail of sweater on him. This sweater looks a little too, I don't know, sweatery, I guess. The knits are a little too big, I think. But it looks good altogether. See him from the back. He's got nice boots. They even painted the eyelets on the boots. In his hand, I know his glove. This is a problem with most of the Freddy figures. You get his knives always get bent in weird angles. They are a soft plastic. You can move them, but I found the best way to get them exactly where you want and to get them nice and straight. You get a hair dryer, and you hold it in the hair dryer and just let it cool off. And as long as you're holding it as it's cooling, when you let go, it'll stay where you want it. Pretty much. See the nice burns on his fingers. So here you can see on top of his head there's the brain. I've got the body. No, you've got the body and I've got the brain. So you can't really get his hand to his head. You can almost Stay, Freddy, stay. You can see in his head sculpt here. It's nice detail all around. The NECA always does great detail on their figures. They really do. His articulation, because it's the new body, you get a swivel up here. So you can do that. You get a nice elbow. You get the wrist that has a swivel and an up and down. You have a waist. No ab crunch. This isn't like the 7-inch figures where it has an ab crunch, but still. You got rotation at the thigh, forward and back at the thigh, in and out at the thigh. You got a nice knee, decent bend, and then you got forward and back on the feet. Most of my 8-inch figures I do have on stands, the Kaiser doll stands. They make stands that are perfect for like 6 to 11-inch figures, and they're perfect for these NECA 8-inch figures. He doesn't really need it. He stands up pretty good on his own, so there you go. So I really don't have much more else to say. There is a video game version of the 8-inch out now. If you missed the video game version of this 7-inch figures, which I already have the video game version of the 7-inch figure, so I didn't need it. But I wanted a decent Freddy, since I have really good 8-inch Friday the 13th figures. I figure I might as well have a Freddy as well. So, you know, I got them both, and I like this one better. He's an improvement over the other one, even though I'm not a huge fan of A Nightmare on Elm Street 2. It is one of the Elm Street films that I do not care for. There are a couple, but it's definitely not Dream Warrior. Anyway, so there you go. There's my look at NECA's 8-inch Freddy Krueger from A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. So you all be good. I'm going to send him to your dreams, because this version's a little bit more psycho than the first version. Be good. Later.